What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to give you my takeaways reaction of the first Thanksgiving matchup of today's slate between the Packers and the Lions. Let's get right into it. So, happy holidays to everyone. Hope you're enjoying your time with your family or with yourself or whatever you want to do. Hope you're enjoying your time. I know I'm enjoying mine. They all sleep right now. I'm knocked out from my wife's great cooking. So right now I have some free time to do a takeaways reaction video, the Packers versus Lions. Let's get into it. NFC North matchup, rivalry. The game was physical. The game was aggressive at times. And the Packers came out with the easy dub, in my opinion. Came out from the get-go. They kind of controlled this game from start to finish. You know, especially the back-to-back consecutive turnovers for Jared Goff in that first quarter really set the Lions back in a big hole early. It's something they could have recovered from, which I'm gonna talk about soon. But let's talk about the winning team first and my takeaways and reaction to their play, and that's the Packers and Jordan Love. The bye week for the Packers were a couple weeks ago, and Gutekunst made the statements. You know, he made a whole statement. If you hear it in context, he wasn't really. He was talking about Love. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't really singling out Love. He was talking about the whole team for real. But when the one that got clipped by everybody and talked about by everybody was him basically saying Jordan Love was on a 10-game trial. You know, he got to play better, more consistent. The whole team does, but really, you know, and we all know this. Seeing Love play so far this season, pre bye week a couple weeks ago, that Love played worse in the first half and great in the second half. You know, he'll give you 50 to 70 yards in the first half for some reason. Then the second half, he'll turn up, give you 230, 250, 200, you know, something like that. So it's like, you know, why can't you do it both halves? And so far, since that talk, since the bye week, Love has been on fire. Only two games, you know, so gotta not crown him yet, but he's definitely been looking more sharp, more better, just looking more consistent through two games. It looked like that talk that Gutekunst had publicly about him definitely worked, and I'm happy. You know, I had the Packers. I'm not a Packers fan, but I had the Packers being in the playoffs. I thought Love would be playing better than what he was pre-bye week. I didn't think he'd be playing this well. You know, I thought they would rely on the run game a little bit more with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, but it seems like they're relying on Love and his arm, and has a heck of an arm talent. Played great for most of the game. Had a couple of not missed throws, but kind of bad throws, just great timing or great outcomes. You know, first was that touchdown of the Reed in the first quarter, that slant throw. I thought it was a mistimed throw. It just snuck through. It was through a bunch of traffic. Another receiver, I forgot which receiver, crossed Reed's face, but it ended up in Reed's arms. And, you know, Reed scored a touchdown, which is great for me as well because Reed was a part of my touchdown parlay. So, you know, I'm happy there. Him and Montgomery. So I definitely got some good bread there. But as far as that, that was kind of to me, I saw it as kind of a missed throw that worked out perfectly. He had one more later on in the third quarter, I believe, to Malik Heath. And it was a cross-body, across-the-field throw that was unnecessary, wasn't called for, wasn't needed. But he did it, and it turned up to be a positive yard and a positive catch for the Packers. But overall, though, outside of those two throws, Love played well. You know, Love handled the pressure well. His offensive line held up for him. The Lions brought the blitz, they brought the pressure, and wasn't really affected. You know, and that's really saying something because Goff was affected heavily. I'm getting to that in a few seconds. But one more thing on the Packers, Christian Watson, I was a big proponent of him not being drafted so high last year. I thought he was more of a third-round guy. You know, and obviously last year he played well when he got healthy. Well, when he was healthy, and this year the same thing. Started off the year kind of banged up. Last couple of weeks been playing well. This week today, well, not this week. This game today versus the Lions was clearly his best game. Came out early, was physical, was dominant, was aggressive, was catching the ball great. You know, 6 targets, 5 catches, 94 yards. That's how you play. That's how you do it. That's how it's supposed to be done. So, great game by Watson. I still don't think he's a number one caliber wide receiver. I think he's a high end 2. I think Dobbs is a low end 2, high end 3. You know, and I'm still a proponent of the Packers need a number one guy. But, you know, everyone, you see with CJ Stroud, you don't need a number one outright. You need just a guys who can catch the ball and play. So you can have a bunch of your top 3 receivers can be a bunch of number 2 guys. Like I said, I think Watson is a fringe one, more of a high end 2 as of right now. Let's see how he develops in the next couple of years. So, but like I said, he came out and played well from start to finish. The moments he was throwing the ball, he came down with most of them and played pretty well. Like I said, the Packers offense played well, and this is a segue into the Lions talk. That Packers front 7. Before I get there, excuse me, Jonathan Owens, someone else who had a chip on their shoulder. Jonathan Owens, Simone Biles' husband, Olympic gold medalist, someone who I called a couple years ago the best athlete in the world, which I stand by. Best athlete in the world, any sport, any gender, all that stuff. I think Simone Biles is that person. I said that in my video on my channel years ago. I stand by that. But he was a meme. He was a Twitter joke last week when everyone said no one talks about Jonathan Owens, who people don't know what is Simone Biles' husband because he keep getting burnt, blah, blah, blah. Today, scored a touchdown and he was smacking people too. He was aggressive. He was everywhere. He was doing his thing and scored a touchdown. So Simone Biles' husband heard the chatter. He was not with it, and he definitely showed up and showed out today. So another thing too, that Packers front 7 defense, they were the most healthiest group coming to this matchup, and it showed. At least for the Packers side, who banged up everywhere, cornerback, safety, line a little bit, weapons for Jordan Love kind of banged up, but that front 7 for the Packers, they showed up, they showed out, and they put the pressure on Goff from the tee off to the end of the game. Sacks, pressures, forced fumbles, they did it all. So that front 7 need to be round applauded. Led by Kenny Clark, led by Gary, led by Preston Smith. Those guys got it done. White went out. The D-tackle drafted from Georgia a couple years ago, or 2 years ago. He ended up being out with a concussion. But yeah, Quay Walker, Preston Smith, all those guys, Gary, they laid it on him. Gary had 3 sacks. They laid it on. They laid the pressure on Goff like no other. And that really showed the real weakness in the Lions' offensive line because that O-line should be sturdy. It is sturdy. It normally is sturdy. One of the better pass protection O-lines in the NFL today. And they got outmatched. They got out physical. They got thrown around. They got pushed back. And you see Kenny Clark, who didn't make a sack or nothing like that or a tackle for loss, but you see his pressures right at the middle. He's pushing his guys back right into Goff's face. Goff kind of panics, moves around, go into a sack, go into a fumble, go into a bad throw. And it was just a couple of times where the Lions had good drives going on that they just couldn't be on the same rhythm with quarterback and wide receiver. And I think that's because of the pressures. So I want to shout out to the Packers front 7. And now that segues us into the Lions talk. The O-line just got, like I said, they just got punished. There's no other way around it. The O-line got worked on today. It is where it is. Tough day. They can't be great every day. But today, on prime time, they got worked on. Thanksgiving, the Packers were more hungrier. They were more aggressive than the Lions' offensive line today. Goff looked rattled from the start. As I said, in the first quarter, 2 back-to-back fumbles. Had a fumble in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, early fourth, whatever it was. He had hit a strip sack there as well on 4th down. So David hit him today. He got pressure a lot. He got hit hard today. So kudos to the Packers defense. And also now talking about the Lions, I think they had a shot at this game, and we all know what I'm talking about. Third quarter, first drive. They score tough yardage. Montgomery scores first. It got called back because of holding call. He still scores a couple plays later, all straight runs, right? But through that whole drive, you see the pass open up the run for the Detroit Lions, right? Then you see, boom, okay, the next drive, they stop the Packers. The next drive after that, you had the Lions get the ball back at their, 1 or 2 or something like that, somewhere below 5-yard line. They start off running. The run for Montgomery runs well. Then they just pass. They pass the rest of the way, and then you have third down. 3rd and 5. It was a shot to Amon St. Brown. Another time, Goff was pressured. Amon was open. They just couldn't get on the same page, a little bit off. That should have been a run play. That if you're gonna go for it on 4th down with a fake punt, which I'll get into next, that should have been a run play. The way Montgomery was running, the way Gibbs was running, make it a 4th and 2, make it a 4th and 1, make it a first down. I think Montgomery could have got that first down. I really do. But for that to be a pass play, then to do the fake punt on 4th down, that was kind of useless in my personal opinion. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. But for me, I thought that should have been a definite run pass on that 3rd and 5. And then if you're going to go for the fake punt, it's a lot shorter, because that fake punt, going to the fake punt now, 4th and 5 fake punt, he wasn't even close. He probably gained 2 yards, so a fake punt on your own 25-yard line, numbers-wise, which I hate numbers, I hate stats. Look at my name, Stats Free Sports. Numbers-wise, though, the Lions are in their right to try it, but just you got to get a feel for the game to forget the numbers sometimes. That didn't make sense. And like I said, if you were going to do it, make it shorter. On 3rd down and 5 that play before, if you know you're going to go for a fake punt, do a run play. Make it 3rd and 1. Make it 4th and 1. Make it 4th and 2. Make it at least close. 4th and 5, the guy got about 2 yards. The Packers were ready for it. They snuffed it out quick. He had no chance to even get going. So, it's a tough call. I know some people on Twitter saying, regardless whether he got it right or not, whether he got a first down or not, it was a dumb call. I don't see it that way. I see it as if you get it right, you're smart. If you get it wrong, you're the dumbest coach in the world. That's how I see it as. And I think, they definitely got it wrong. Wasn't even close. So that was a dumb move. But overall, if they would have got it right, that drive would have kept going and they would have scored. It would have been a one-possession game. And you never know how momentum turns. You never know how Love and the team reacts because they'll be under massive pressure. But we'll never know now. That's how the game ended. But we've seen a couple times this year, though, the Lions defense get carved up. And Love did just that. So, they are susceptible to better quarterbacks with good arm talent and some decent weapons. So, the Ravens lit them up. I think the Seahawks played them pretty well as well, if I'm not mistaken. A couple other teams did, too. So, Pat Mahomes could have beat them in game 1 and just for his sorry weapons. So, the Lions defense, who I've been saying, it's kind of late now, but it is too late. But doing the trade deadline, trade for a corner, trade for a better pass rusher or more pass rushers, and they didn't do so. So we'll see how it turns out. They tried to get pressure on Love, but just the Packers O-line held up very well, and Love didn't get frantic at all. Opposite like Goff. Goff got frantic as crap, but he got a lot more pressure than Love did, though. A lot more got home to him, so I will say that. But to be a veteran, Goff definitely panicked some of those times. He got pressure, but as we all know, when the pressure comes right in your face, it's kind of tough to really do something, and a lot of that pressure came from Kenny Clark, but it was snatched up. Like I said, 3 sacks from Rashan Gary. So he snatched all those pressures up from up the middle and got it done for himself. But Wyatt, Clark, all the Preston Smith, they flushed it sometimes, or some of those times, to Gary's side and stuff. So, but overall, good game by the Packers, good overall showing. Looking at the Packers' record, they can make the playoffs. They can run the table. Well, maybe not next week. But after that, they might run the table. They have the Chiefs next week. But after that, it's very winnable. They have the Giants, very winnable game. They have the Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears in the season. So right now, they're at 5 wins. There's definitely a shot that the Lions can finish with 10-11 wins and make the playoffs. Probably not win their division. That's probably unlikely, but the wild card spot definitely could be theirs at 10 or 11 wins. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.